Hello and welcome to a brand new YouTube video. Now, first and foremost, I want to talk about the 15th to the 21st of May and what I'll be doing. Shout 85258 is a mental health charity which I will be supporting during this week. I will also be giving you out numbers for like the American version as well, because obviously you're not all from the UK. Shout is from the UK. All you got to do, if you are having mental health problems during that day, all you got to do is text shout to 85258. From that, they will message you back and then they will talk to you about everything and anything. It is basically a way so that you can help get rid of that distress that you have, talking to professionals, talking to people who are heavily well trained. To train one of their volunteers, it costs £250 to. That's absolutely phenomenal if you start thinking about it. The amount that they have to raise to train those people is huge. But I'm not going to push on the raising the money really myself that much. But and if you do want to know about the money and where it goes, if you do support them, £10. It costs about £10 for a conversation that they have. And it costs £25 to fund a clinical expert who may have to get involved in that conversation, because of obviously the trained volunteers aren't as good as a clinical expert. During Mental Health Awareness Week, so between the 15th to the 21st, they will expect 8,000 people to contact them. 8,000 people. That is a lot of people that are going to be contacting them during that single week alone. Now, I advise anyone, if you are having problems and you are beginning to feel like it's getting to the point that you'd be contemplating suicide, even, contact people then. Make sure you're exercising your crisis plan at that point. If you possibly can, I know it's not always possible, but these guys and charities like this should be part of your crisis plan. Now, the main reason people contact Shout is for suicide, depression, anxiety, or stress, close followed by relationships, loneliness, and self-harm. Now, don't get me wrong, us streamers are absolutely fantastic. If you want to come watch and have a laugh, I'll even try and help you out as much as I possibly can, but I'm by nowhere near trained. If you want to come and have a natter and a chat, please feel free to always pop by if I'm streaming and just pop in, say hi. You've also got a Discord if you want to jump in there. I'm not always on Discord because I suffer with mental health problems myself, so I sometimes need that break away, if you know what I mean, and I'm sure you all understand. But yeah, I think it's a really important cause, and I honestly think that the reality of the world we now live in is more and more people are needing these kind of services. I mean, I saw a stat, I think it was this week I saw a stat, and I had to look it up recently, because I was like, that can't be right. So what was these stats and figures that I saw which really amazed me? Now, this is going to be talking about LGBTQ plus and everything, okay? So it's going to go through the whole spectrum here. 50% of gay, lesbian, bisexual high school students in America told the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, to give it its full name, in 2021 that they had seriously considered suicide. Now, that to me seems massive. That seems huge. And when I heard that, and when all that time ago, I was like, oh, that's far too many. However, and then, so what are these stats and figures? Like the LGBT community, right? That part of the LGBTQIA plus community, 50% of people in that community told the CDC in 2021 that they thought about suicide. They intended to. Now, that's huge. That to me, that's a massive number, and it is scary. It's scary to think that many people can be undercared for, to a point where people aren't seeing this, people aren't helping them, people will probably be telling them that it doesn't matter, that they'll get better, it'll be different, they'll get. And no, it's not. It's hard to be in a marginalized group. And talking about marginalized groups, you then look at this. In Australia, this one's Australian, this stats from. 928 participants were asked the questions. 73% had depression, while 67% had anxiety. 63% had previously self-harmed, and 43% had attempted suicide. Attempted. This means they have acted on that impulse. Now, there is no magic wand. There isn't. And obviously with these, there is no magic wand, as I was just saying. And do you know what? One of the biggest things that we can do is be together in a community. And looking around and finding resource that can kind of help us discover who we are. And so we can look at something and be like, actually, I see myself in that. And I think that's really important inside media. And I think that's why it's important that we have these characters. And video games is a very important media. Now, I was playing No Longer Home today on stream, actually. And that's why I've completely rewritten this podcast and why it's a little bit cutty and jittery. Because I wanted to talk about it for the last few minutes of this. Because I honestly think it is one of the nicest games that I've played that has a very serious point. No Longer Home is actually a semi-biographical a game, and it's kind of interesting because it covers the story of two queer non-binary students and some of their friends. And it's so intriguing to kind of look at and listen to their conversations. You go through the game, you see it from the prequely part all the way through to the end, and it's like, it's really hard. And there's a lot of things that when I look at it, I go, I recognize that inside myself. I recognize this, I recognize that. And that's because, like any good game, you can see yourself in some of these characters, especially if you're like queer, non-binary, gay, lesbian. You'll see different aspects of yourself in these characters, and these characters have been so well written. You can see comes from a part of love, and that's something you don't get with AAA titles as much. And it's really intriguing. As I say, I really enjoy playing it. There was lots of reading in it, which nearly killed my voice. I didn't know whether I was actually going to do this yet or not. And overall, I would advise, I think I got it for about a $5. Overall, I'd advise, even if you just watch the game, because it is just so nice. It puts across some perspectives, like they're working for their last couple of years at uni, and it's like, it goes through like visa limitations for one of the characters. One of them will be staying in England, one of them will be going back to Japan, obviously. Study visa would run out. And they're both in a position where they're disillusioned by their post-educational future. Because uni doesn't set you up for the future. As much as people rant and rave and say how good uni is, it doesn't set you up for the future, because right now you can go to uni, you can get a degree in whatever you really like, and then there might not be any jobs in that field. And that must feel so devastating. If you're not educationally bright and uni's not for you, I advise going to work for a Butlins or a Haven or a Park Resorts or a Kingswood or somewhere like that. Because do you know what? Spending 2 to 3 years just learning about yourself when you're not around your parents is so good. It really helped me. I am so glad I did it, but for some people, being away from homes, it's not for them, and that's absolutely fine. One day you'll get to the point where you can leave home. I hope you do, because I think that's really important. As I say, but that is what I took away from this game, and it was just like how good and how well it was done and managed, and the art style was very different. It's a point and click, so if you can get hold of it, give it a go. Other than that, I want to say thank you very much. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been a bit of an itty bitty one, hasn't it? Have a fantastic one. Stay safe, stay well. I'll see you on the other side. Have a good one. Bye.